Hi Lottie, hi Dion. Hi everybody. Okay. Hi Dean, hi China, hi Carol. Oh my gosh, look at you guys. You are here this morning. So good morning, good morning. How is everybody? China? What? Carol? Oh, China. I'm thinking like, oh, you're like from China. Like, no, you're saying hi to China. Sybil, hi. Adriana, hello. I see some new faces, guys. That's really nice to hear. Hi, Mel. Hi, Dion. Okay, my coffee. I hope everybody is having a coffee over here. Hey, Junkie. Mamba Junkie. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing some new faces here. That is like really nice to see over here, guys. So I was like really wondering, like, I mean, because Lottie and I tried it last week in kind of like off time, and we like everybody was new. So it is so good to see that. Hi, Crystal, Patricia. Hey Patricia, welcome. Guys, you are here, people who need to focus each and every time that I kind of like do the readings. You're kind of like setting the stage. So if you don't know your natal chart, just look down below, because this is a general reading. So how this works, I focus on particular sign. So what basically that means, that sign? That sign means that I'm focusing on you, the sun sign. I'm focusing on ascendant, I'm focusing on moon and Venus, but I'm also focusing on the people who can be any sign who are actually watching this. So you can see these energies are sort of like somewhere meeting in the middle, and that's the explanation why sometimes this doesn't resonate with you, and that's why sometimes it's really, really good to kind of like check all of these readings, right? So look at you and pineapple juice. I am with coffee. I don't have to brag a little bit. I went to a doctor yesterday to check my blood pressure. I don't know if you guys are regular, you know that I had issues, big issues. I had 150 over 100, and yesterday I had 120 over 70. Yay, I am back to normal. It's kind of a thing. Oh, my turquoise. It is okay. Lottie really, really missed you. So I guess it kind of like works out. So let me see. I'm healthy. I'm drinking decaf, and everything works out today. And look at this. I'm getting email from Lottie. Lottie. Okay. Oh, poor Lottie. She feels like, I mean, she messed up the sound. No, sweetie, it's just like freaking Mercury retrograde. Nothing works. I'm sending readings to myself. When I finish it for the people, I'll be, are you okay? Because they know I'm very reliable. So it is. I'm feeling better, even though kind of like it's hard to sleep. I ordered one of those. I don't know if you guys ever heard. I kind of like don't like heat, so I don't know if it's going to work out. But it's called weighted blanket. It's kind of like really presses you down. Like, I mean, you have like from 10 pounds to 30 pounds. And yeah, Michael, this is kind of like, I use meditation as well and Reiki, but this weighted blanket is like really done for anxiety, for PTSD, for I guess ADHD as well. For children is spectacularly good. So we will see how this works. I tried to just put weights on me just to see before I bought it, because they are not really cheap, and it did actually really feel like a hug. It felt really good. Oh, really? You try this? Yeah, it's kind of like thing that I heard from a fellow psychiatrist. Well, I'm not a psychiatrist, right? But he was like bragging that's kind of like used in therapy. I said, oh, I need to get myself one. I literally have one of those hand weights. I have like a whole bunch of sets, and I put it on me in bed, and oh my gosh, it felt really good. So I can just imagine how blanky it would be really good. So I am using today, guys, I was like really wondering to kind of like shuffle, and I was sniffling a little bit, so my apologies. I'm going to use a regular Rider-Waite style tarot for clarifications, but I'm going to use John Holland. It's called, I think, Psychic Tarot or something like that. I think it's more or less oracle, even though they're calling it tarot. I think it has 60 something cards, and I really kind of like it because it has a really good emotional component. So let's do that. So we are still in Leo season, even though we are going to go to Virgo. So we are going to start with fire, and then we are going to go to earth. So just I'm announcing both of that. Sorry, Christina, Ways have been used and known to help anxious. Yes, exactly. That's what I read. And it kind of like really feels like somebody's giving you a hug, and that's kind of like the healing aspect. It has the little kind of like bits, I don't know how to explain it, like a little kind of like nipples all over it, so it's almost like pressing, like acupressure, but it's kind of weighting you down. Only problem is like I don't like heat, so I don't know how that will work out. So let's see. And guys, please like it, please, share it. I'm just kind of like wondering if I should just make this weekly just for the subscribers and not to kind of like make them public. So that kind of like would, but then I guess it's not published, so we'll see. Hello, Erin, nice to see you. So that's about me. Decaf and weighted blankets. I'm really old, I guess you can tell. So let's start. Oh my gosh, retrograde. Don't even talk to me about it. I was like even afraid to drive in the end. So sip of a coffee. Boy, you guys like, it's kind of amazing how quickly I got adjusted to decaf. So good to see. Hi, Rosemary. So let's see. Fire. And to all the Leos, happy belated birthday, happy birthday. Is Sally here? Sally had birthday last week and I completely missed it on that day. And I am old. I'm getting there. Like, I guess I'm technically considered middle-aged, right? So I'm going down the hill right now. So, but that's okay. I'm going to give it like every resistance I can. Hi, Barbie. So let's see. Fire. 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 Oh, I did go and hug trees. I did. I kind of like one of those, what they call it, gravity chairs. So since I don't have a balcony in my apartment, I have a really huge park right next to me. I live right next to one of the rivers in Toronto. So I just go there, take this chair, and I'm in the nature. Memories of love. So fire is still dealing with Mercury retrograde. And is my camera just zoomed out? I just want to make sure that we are able to see that. Controller, yeah, it is. It looks like when I see cameras that it is like live streaming. And actually I shifted the commands on live reading, so we should probably have a better quality this time. Okay, but maybe it's too good of a quality that I shifted to, because it might stall a little bit. Memories of love and emotional loss. Fire is going through some kind of healing. Look at this, like nexus over here, this nucleus. That's basically the 3.14 pi and Fibonacci over here that we see, which kind of is the root of basically all life. So you guys dealing with something possibly very existential. You are known to have big heart, like especially Leos. But it looks like to me this is definitely Mercury retrograde is shaking you in this way. Not so much, let's say, that you're getting swords and then it's a kind of like thought confusion. This is more or less dealing with emotional craving. Because look at him. Like, hey, I kind of like something is really close to my heart. But he is alone because the light is behind him. It's kind of like also I see in this particular deck that this can be seen as a release. Kind of like, hey, you know, I kind of like really need to release all of this kind of like fire points. But the truth is, look at this, releasing the fire on the water. And that's kind of like really interesting to me, because it just takes like a little kind of like wave to rock it and to kind of shake it. So don't lull yourself into some memories that could be nice, but don't forget to remind yourself what else happened, right? And yeah, last week also, Lati, to that point, it was like extremely draining. So I started to do my weightlifting, and that's kind of like really giving me a little bit more energy, even though I'm still sometimes sleeping really a long time, sometimes not at all. So ideally going through a lot of this summer burden, and I know I need healing. This is definitely kind of like healing energy. You guys know that we are going through the energy number 11, and that's the healing energy. We are like, this is the year. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Let me get a pen. I completely kind of like saw something on the news yesterday, and I realized I have to show you this. Let me just find this. Let me find a pen. Let me find a pen. Let me find a pen. Today is what? Today is August. What? It still didn't show the paper, is it? Oh, there it is. Today is August, right? 18 2018. 81818. That was Lionsgate last year that we had. Very, very, very important date. And some of us generically, and hopefully if you can guys stamp this as sort of like numerology part at whatever the time it is, at 11:13. So this is going to be interesting because first of all, it reads both ways the same thing, right? And so tomorrow also we are going to, yesterday we had 81718. It was reading both ways the same. As you can see, this is how I teach numerology in my school, with kind of like a pen in hand. And then we have 81918 tomorrow, and that's it. That's the kind of like that narrow gate that we have there. And this is the crux. And guess what's happening on the 20th? We are going into Virgo. So finally we are getting organized. But today, from everything, we have like two double master numbers. We have 11 and 888. So vibrations today are very high. And also the card for today was like sort of 7 of Swords. So that does mean that we will be possibly at some point today mulling through some kind of issues that maybe need to resurface. Okay. Yeah, I know. In Europe, we would always put the day first, and then the month, and then the year. It kind of makes sense. Or even the other way around. In Canada, I don't know how it's in US. I'm assuming it's the same. We put the month first, and then the day, and the year. It's just the way it is. So that's kind of how we look at it. So getting grounded on Virgo season, that's kind of like where we are getting. So Virgo is always bringing this organization and kind of like ability to put things together. And there you go. We have passion ignited. And what did I kind of like put it down here? Passion ignited is kind of great. You see, kind of like getting out of it, just like what I was saying, is going to be a few days gap. And then after that gap, we're actually moving into something that can actually work out. And so, where does Tarot live? I live in an apartment. Haha, I know this is not what you ask. I live in Toronto. I live in the west part of Toronto, which is still Toronto postal code, or zip code as you call it. But this river that actually I can see through my window is basically border between, like, Toronto has like 5 burbs, like 5 main burbs, and one over the fence over the river is also still Toronto, and then basically you would go into suburbs. So it's over the river is something that we call the Tobico. So it's kind of like the part which is very, I would say, very right wing. And here in Toronto, we are kind of like left wing. So you can just imagine being on a border. In fact, I live in a street that probably started Toronto. There is like this kind of like building that is called Lambton House. And the Lambton House was sort of like the trader. It was like a grocery store, if you wish, those times. It had that kind of like transportation, everything going through it, and tariffs. So it kind of like has a history, and that's what I liked about it. So again, some people are going to tell me, just pay attention, I'm just here to do the reading and just shut up. But you know what, and I apologize to everybody, but I really love chatting with you. I consider so many of you my friends, and it's very meaningful for me. Okay, there you go, talking about the merchants. We are getting for this passion ignited merchants. Maybe you guys are thinking about something long distance. Maybe you guys are planning a trip. Merchant is a really good card, and it's kind of like coming here to clarify this passion ignited. Merchant, like in this deck, meant somebody who was like upper middle class, somebody who kind of like did understand the value of planning. So kind of like his shipment is arriving, or he's shipping something away with expectation to kind of like profit, expectation to something kind of like come forward. But he's like tiptoeing. I don't know if you can see it, even though he's kind of like grounded. It's kind of like big, oh my god, what's going to happen? And that kind of like would make sense to me for passion ignited. You're not going cluelessly into that, and maybe there is an issue with somebody who is distant or some kind of distance, but nonetheless kind of like looks like the things are going to look up. This is kind of new direction, and you are going in new direction. So now if you look about it, 6 and a 5 is 11, so 1 1 1 that you guys have. You had 8 8 8 last year. We all had last year at Lionsgate, and especially on this day, and this is now 1 1 1 for you guys fires. So this is really, really amazing. If on my website, and I don't know if you seen it, maybe somebody can look up, I did actually put a little bit about these master numbers in the last 10 days or so. So who are we starting? Okay, let's start with the birthday people. Leo. Let's see, Leo. Kind of focus. Did we start any sign? No, you're not out of focus. I'm out of focus. We are just starting Leo right now. This was like fire. And look at that, Leo. You guys are cutting somebody off, it looks like. Queen of Swords is like somebody who is saying, I have no patience with us. No, 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 no. So, look, she's saying, you know, come to me, but I have a sword. Are you sure? This is pretty, pretty sharp. And that sword most likely is not going to this way because it is upright. And kind of like if somebody is juggling, because again we have this theme of the ships in the distance, and to me ships in the distance are always talking about somebody either being distant or distant in their heart, or there is estrangement or separation. And this to me is always like, it was like never a dull day, but in a bad way, sort of like it's always like when you think you're up, like things will go down, sort of a thing, right? You see this kind of like perpetual kind of a thing. And it's interestingly that this card is 2. It also looks like 11. So Leos, watch out this week. You are going to minimize anything and anybody who is messing with you. It's going to be, I'm not taking this anymore at all. So let's see the angel. Come on, angel messages. Come here, I know what you're up to. Queen of Swords. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like kitty. Gotcha. Thing. So let's see, Leos. Patience. No. I think Queen of Swords, yeah, I guess, is she patient? I really don't think that air signs are particularly patient. So maybe somebody's going to appeal to your patience. Maybe you are, I think more or less your patience is coming to an end, and that's why the word is coming out, because maybe you're feeling like there is a stone around your neck, somebody's dragging you down, and you have no patience for this anymore. That's kind of like what I would say. So let's see. I'm not patient, guys. This is one of my big flaw. And I really have to train myself, because patience is one of those characteristics what makes people successful. I want everything done in a second. Press the button. Kind of like driver type personality. So who is next? The next one would be Sagittarius. So let's jump to Aries instead. Aries. Hi, Brooke. Hi, Brooke. Welcome. This is a new moderator. Like everybody says hi to Brooke. Nice to see you. And nice to see you helping. That's really highly appreciated. So let's see. Aries. Ooh. Aries. We have 11 again. Look at this 2 that looks like 11, and this one is 11 that looks like 11, but that is basically 11. And then it's almost like weirdly the same. Here we have a Queen of Wands and Justice. You guys are Justice warrior. Something is really coming back to balance. Something that really bogged you down, something that really bothered you. It's coming like in this kind of equilibrium. Also, it's kind of interesting because this is usually Libra, and this is kind of like that flavor of kind of like this fire and fire signs, and it's a Black Kitty card. So why is the Black Kitty here? Because she is like very proactive. She's kind of like organizer. She's like a mover and shaker, but she doesn't share everything. She has her trademarks and she has her secrets, kind of a thing, you know, and people don't want to tell you the secrets of their makeup and stuff. So she has like her secrets in life, but overall she's going to look very transparent, but does have that kind of like spice of mystery in it. Justice is a really good card when it shows up. It means that things are coming in balance, and when this usually shows up, it means you have not been in balance. And look at this. This is also kind of like that balancing act that needs to happen. It looks like you guys are able to shed some stuff this week, pardon me. You're able to kind of like bounce from something that has been dragging you down for maybe quite a few months, maybe even for up to a year or so. That really feels upsetting. And it's kind of like for Leos, it's going to be conscious decision, and here's going to be, I have to get busy, I have to keep doing, and that's what's going to be the way out. So, and looking into the angel card, and I'm going to say, oh my gosh, where's the angel card for Aries? Aries, depth. Well, it's kind of interesting because the Justice to me is more or less height. But again, height is something that you kind of like you're going toward, and I really feel that you guys, Aries, are probably digging yourself out from mud. You're digging yourself out from something, and you just like got this like new zest, and you are going forward from something. It's just kind of like, you know, I'm mad as hell, I'm not taking it anymore. That's kind of like attitude that I see over here. So we have Saggies. Oh my gosh, look, we have the third queen. What are the chances? So Sagittarius is like, it's a softer queen. Look at this. Like, this one is like, come over here, kitty kitty. This one is like, I have a stick, but I also have a sunflower. Do you like the sunflower? And this one has 2 hands, so you know this one is kind of harmless. She has like this big cup, but if you notice here, it's kind of closed. It's kind of like you really have to earn to kind of get it. And let's see what else came out with it. Wow, 2 tenths. Oh my gosh, so we really have this ones everywhere. So it's 1 and 1. Again, if you really look at it, even though this is really telling me, again, there are some kind of secrets here as well that I see, or maybe you are keeping a secret, Sagittarius, because this always card has that kind of like thing. But this also tells me about that something is coming home to roost, that certain things are just being too hard, and maybe you are going to be a little bit out of your element, because look at those cups for Sagittarius. And there's like the essence of things from the past coming to the surface, really the strongest from the fire signs and Sagittarius readings. And kind of like focuses on the home, and focuses on what makes you happy, focuses also what you shouldn't kind of like do as well, because this guy is not carrying this in a very kind of like smart way, and things can happen, or you maybe are wondering if things might happen because you're not seeing really clearly what is ahead of you. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, Safi is probably sleeping. So let's see, for Sagittarius angel card. Tenderness, yes. I would kind of agree that, and oh my gosh, look at that. look at that. They have a black kitty on this little kind of angel card. So there you go. There are secrets again. Black kitties are the mystery and the secrets. So you guys are holding something to your chest. You're holding something to your heart. But you're really kind of like trying to move away from some issues from the past as well, and kind of like look forward. Okay, that would be for, that was, look, actually I had High Priestess, and again it was 2, so I think this is again for you Sagittarius that also flicked. And that's kind of like really looking, going to be silent, very silent. You guys are not silent very much, and this is going to be interesting period where it's going to be lots of kind of like sideline watching what people do and how they do it. It's going to be very, very interesting. So. Okay, now who is next? I said Earth. We are doing the Earth next. Living on a farm, that would be so hard, Brooke. You don't know what you wish for. I mean, like they wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, they go to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning. The next is Earth. Earth, because Virgo is going to have a birthday in a few days, and I'm behind with my exes. Should be around the 15th, but it's going to come next week. I'm going to change a little bit my my twin flames. I think they're just a little bit too long. Okay, how many Earth people do we have here? Come on, Earth. As I said, you need to kind of like have Earth somewhere. You need to have ascendant, you need to have your sun sign, your moon sign, or Venus or Mars in Earth. So let's see. Earth. Laura, I'm just starting Earth. Destiny. And we have, look at this beautiful flower of life. This is like the Wheel of Fortune card. So it is like something predestined. Like really, I don't really have to pick up any other card to really know that something is going to happen this week that you cannot change. You know, major arcana, there are orders. This card in particular is like, I'm taking this in my own hands, because there is like something you have been working on. It's a really positive card though, very, very positive card. But let me just get, did I forget to do Capricorn August monthly? I don't think so. I did. No, it just was released. Really, wait a minute. Somebody else told me that, and I thought, what the heck are they talking about? I'm pretty sure I did Capricorn. Let me just check. Let me just give me a second. Give me a second for a second. Because if I did, oh my god, I am losing it. I need to start taking my omega-3s. I usually go in order. I start with a sign that is currently having a birthday and kind of like go that way. So the next reading is more or less going to start with Virgo. So let me just see. You're talking about monthlies, right? Okay, let me see. My playlists. August monthly. What? I really don't have Capricorn here. I really don't. I'm pretty sure I did Capricorn. Wow. Okay, I'm going to look into that. Wow. Thank you. Well, they're going to get September now. It's just like somebody else kind of like wrote this. I said, what are you talking about? Of course I did it. And I did it. So I will have to look for it and maybe release it. So I don't want Capricorns to feel done. However, somebody suggested to me that I should do kind of like the most likes, the first one coming out, but I kind of like things to be more organized. I guess you can tell I have German blood in me. Okay, so you see, nothing else was coming out. Victory and success, but it came reversed. Like both of these cards, it's kind of like weird. Right here is like from the top of the world. Here is like, okay, I am not that that awesome as I thought I was. But victory success, when it reverses, always tells me that somebody really needs to feel important, that kind of like you're going to work toward that maybe you feel that too many things in your life happen like a lucky break, versus like you guys are really kind of like earthy people. You kind of like pace yourself, you have the strategy, you have this long-term plan, everything that would make like air signs freak, right? So let me just get one more card here for Earth, one more card for this week, because and you got a card from this deck. It's kind of like interesting because of course the Capricorns over here probably are going, hey, because this is to me the card of probably you're getting out of this darkness. You probably want to get out of the situation that could have flavor of any of the following, that you had exes or somebody's exes coming and messing with your life, that you have issues with drinking too much and saying things and blurring things that you shouldn't, drugs, kind of like dependencies problems. But more than that, this card talks about jealousy. It talks about really not able to stop. It's like kind of like that avalanche. It's kind of like the ball is already like rolling down, like snowball, and now you just really don't know how to stop it, and you know it's wrong, and you know it's not good. So you have to ask yourself, would a person who loves themselves do this? And that's kind of like the solution out of it. It's kind of like it could be a little turbulent, but this is like really, really, really good card. Thank you, Dean, very much. Appreciate that. So actually, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to do something because I want to appreciate all of you. Just like realize, you see, this is how it works. I just realized that I want to thank all of you here for being on this reading. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this week Lati, next week I guess Dean, to pick a person who is coming on live, and I'm going to say that in the future so that people know to kind of join live, that one person is going to get 15-minute free reading, one question reading. So there you go, your lucky day, 15 minutes free reading. And I'm going to give another 15 minutes on you guys liking and visiting my social media. So there you go, incentive. So we are in touch all this week. So there you go. So Lati, you're first in charge. Dean, this is just because the Empress comes before the Emperor. So that's all there is. So let's see. Let's start with Capricorn since your card showed up here. No, I should start with Virgo. Sorry. Let's honor Virgo's birthday coming up. Birthday, Virgo. Virgo, you are you're sharp. You want to get a point, but you're getting this sort of like through the grapevine. You kind of like have been wondering if you're dealing with somebody who has issues with the truth. You're trying to maybe open somebody up. Maybe you are trying to kind of like really kind of like figure out like who do you let in, who you're not let in, right? That is like this card of needing to stabilize, and sometimes when we need to stabilize we have to go all the way in. We have to kind of like get this close because you're kind of protecting your heart. And I can see this Virgos here probably are having doubts, so I can see this connection weirdly enough. You don't want to lash out at somebody, you don't want to accuse somebody, but at the same time you're very cautious what you say, and you're doing your investigation to kind of like be able to face somebody with the facts. And in the meantime, you know, you're protecting yourself. You're kind of like saying, I just better watch this period of time. So maybe you're also checking somebody else's or even yours, but it more or less looks like somebody else's actions. Maybe somebody has hurt you in the past, and it looks like that somebody else really needs lots of pampering and needs kind of to have their ego stroked, even up to the point of being narcissistic, because the Devil card is like that symbiotic relationship between a narcissist and between a codependent, right? So you have one just like taking the life out of the other, another one trying to earn their kind of like, you know, love. and it's just like both people, one is like big giver, one is like big taker, and of course it works. That's why usually spender always finds the saver, because there is the stash of money. So let's see this, Virgo. Relax, relax, relax. I love this. Look at this hammock. Beautiful relaxation is in order over here for you, because it's going to be tensed. And relaxation is kind of like telling you to come to, you know, people say, oh no, what's happening, what's happening, can you tell me about this? Of course, this is like what a tarot reading is for. Part of it is like kind of trying to see this possible trajectory. But if I am not relaxed, I would not be able to come to these answers. And I advise you the same. Relaxation sometimes kind of like brings a meditation answers to something, right? So, okay. Oh, Brooke, that was kind of like weird. Interesting. You know, sometimes like I saw this little child, and it was just like she looked at me years ago, and it was just like the same feeling. Of course I didn't say anything because I thought they would think I'm nuts. So let's go. Next would be Capricorn. Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. Oh, Dean, maybe she kind of maybe she your girlfriend that called you, she kind of like by mistake dialed a number. Kind of like that really sucks when you call some ex and it's like, oh my, no, I cannot stop it. So Capricorn, another 10. You see, again, there are some kind of secrets. There are like things that need to be worked on. There are things that need to be re-established. It's kind of interesting. The Empress is kind of like ruled by Venus. Just like this morning, I was answering to somebody who felt Empress is Earth. No, Empress is actually Venus. And hence we see this like big Venus sign. So anybody who has Venus in Taurus or Libra or those signs are sort of like really resonating here. It is kind of like interesting because you have the fire, you have earth, and you have air over here, but you don't have water, right? So we actually don't have water anywhere, but it's kind of like telling me that, again, it's very similar to what we had with Virgo. There is like there is a need to kind of like come back into that zone. There is like this need to feel powerful, which tells me that you maybe were tapping in the dark, maybe you were trying different venues and nothing really worked, or it didn't work the way you wanted. Well, that's going to change, and that's talking about this victory and success. And I think for you, more or less is like something personal, more or less is like feeling, hey, you know what, I need to stabilize, I need to get these things done, and how come I'm always missing this, and how come this. So it's kind of like going to be lots of planning. Also, like this chick, she doesn't ask anybody's advice. She really totally knows what she needs to do, and that's the soft principle. That's the weighted blanket principle. Over here we see like this big hug, so you feel comfortable coming to this person. Maybe you guys need somebody to give you this hug, and if so, you know, try to start with giving yourself hug to start with. And pretty much you need to kind of like also ask of people, because not everybody can read, most of us cannot read other people's minds. So let's see. So let's see the angel message for you, Virgos. Angel message for you, Virgo. Strength. Interestingly enough, the strength is in order, because it also takes strength to carry all the stuff. It looks like you have been carrying things for quite a while, and things were piling up, and it's time again to be strong, but not necessarily brutal, because this card to me is more or less, it's kind of like very similar if you really look at these mini pictures that we see over here, but it's really talking about really finding your ground. This also kind of tells me if you guys are looking for a job or security, that's actually going to be sort of like a focus this particular week. So who is next? Next is, who did I miss? Taurus, 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 Taurus. Okay, Taurus. I have here 5 of Wands and Page of Wands. Again, very much a fire thing, and it's really talking about establishing boundaries. It's really kind of guiding me back to this Devil card over here that is it's kind of like telling you you're kind of coming back to your own strength. And you are still, I mean, I still see that as entire Earth. So it's always good for every sign to look at this entire kind of thing. This is kind of like talking about pushing and pulling. And this is basically describing life in one card. Because we spend all our lives pushing and pulling. Whenever we think we are on top, something happens and we are kind of back on the bottom. So for you, like, the challenge will be to kind of like reassert yourself, reestablish your rules, but also not to go all the way on the other side, sort of like finding that sort of like moderate way of how far you go or how much you're letting people to come in. So that's kind of a thing. But Page of Wands is like somebody who's like energized, energetic, and there you go, it's kind of like exit out. Also, it means that some of you might have issues with kids, or I guess it's the back to school. Looks like it's going to be very protective. It's going to be thriving with activities this particular month, pardon me, week, and you might feel it's kind of like getting out of hand because this energy is like so much higher. So pace yourself, Taurus. You might be very, very exhausted by the end of the week. So let's see. Play. Yeah, it's going to be lots of play. It's going to be lots of activities. I think that's when we showed activity. Look at that, the beach ball. Oh my gosh, I'm so envious. My brother is on vacation. She's like, I clue into that video chats with him, and oh, look at where I'm sitting. It's the beach. Oh gosh. By the way, we have beach in Toronto, just for those of you who didn't know. Okay, so who is next? Who's next? Who is next? Who is next? Let's see. Open forum to, and strength came out. Strength, and that's again this 8s and 11s. You see how they're coming through today, really kind of like talking to us. So thank you for your energy, guys. Vacation would be nice, so nice. So I'm planning my vacation. It's kind of distance, probably February or March. No, we are not all in the USA. We have people from all over the world, but I'm in Canada. How does that count? Okay, so I'm getting air. Let's do air. Look at this, air, people. Of course, the fastest, it's kind of weird because it's always debate in tarot community which energy is higher, fire or air, and I always say air is higher. Only thing is, like, we get exhausted really quickly. We like rockets. So air. Choose wisely. Oh my gosh, universe and triumph. I'm not so sure if it came up. I think it came up. It just like started to swing. Look at this, 2 7s. Seven and 7, 14. 34, 35, right? So this is talking about the 8 energy. Again, 3 and 5, 8. And that's kind of like why I was silent, trying to calculate first thing in the morning. This is amazing. This is the world card. This is the universe card. Air. See, I didn't go all as usual. So choose wisely. We kind of like also are trying to figure out in which direction you really want to go. And then spread our wings and fly. 2 cards doing the same thing. It's going to be a spiritual movement forward. When this card shows up, you know, fret not. Really good week ahead. And I better kind of like make a note to kind of like accomplish all the stuff that I'm kind of lagging in. Lovely card. This is actually, I think, the cover card on a deck, on a packaging, which is like really talking about being one with the universe. You know, I call it being in the zone, kind of like really having that motion forward. So I guess what's going to come out now is like what can come in a way and what could be the obstacle we really need to work for, which kind of like is really important. Okay, so let's check who is the first. I did Aquarius the last time, selfishly, so let's go with Libra. Libra. Libra, Libra, Libra. Oh my gosh. Look, you guys obviously need to deal with some stuff. You're like between, you know, so typical for Libra. Libra is represented with this balance card, but Libra is always out of balance, and that's what I see over here. You kind of like maybe you want to be solo, but you don't want to be solo. One moment and the next moment. It's just like, again, Libra kind of like having that Venus kicking in. Well, where is my knight in the shining armor? So whether you're thinking about somebody from the past or you're hoping for somebody in the future, this is really telling me that you need to stabilize your own emotions. You're almost there. It looks like you have been working on it for a while. And if you're looking for somebody from the past, obviously if you're upset, this is telling you something. If you're upset and if you have this anxiety, get a weighted blanket. But if in absence of that, you need to ask yourself, and I can talk to you a little bit more directly because you're an air sign. If I tell this to a water sign, I would just like lose like a quarter of my subscribers. But guys, get off that pot. If this person is not treating you well, it is time to say goodbye. Grind your teeth. It's going to hurt a little bit, but just like say it, it's over, because it's really telling you karma completed. You have learned this lesson, so don't prolong it. Don't make it difficult on yourself, guys. So let's see. Well, no, like some people are very gentle, right? So like, I mean, I know that sometimes they really have to not have a one wrapper, but 5 wrappers, and that's what happens when an air talks to the water. So, and water is being lost, and look at this, and you got obedience. That's not you guys. I think Libra is very forceful sign. I used to think that Aquarius is the most forceful. I am changing my opinion on this. I think Aquarius is the least forceful, but can implement a change. I would say Gemini can be probably the most forceful, but Libra would be probably the second. And surrender, again, you know, feeling incapable of doing something. Surrender is actually not a bad card. I think it's really connecting, even though he's having this like white flag over here. I really think, well, actually, you know, this is probably really good. Maybe you're going to be obedient, let's call it, to me. See, here is like standing in front of the traffic light, the little angel. So that's pretty much what I said. If you see the red flags, if you see the red light, understand that it's there. Stop it. Understand that maybe you're going to pass through the red light. It's not going to end well, and you are projected to move into completely triumph, into kind of completely moving in a new direction. So why are you fighting it? Why are you fighting it? Why do you want to go past? You know, I want this person, and then next thing you know, there is like this gorgeous person that you are like missing, because there is like this thing to just allow yourself that gate to open, right? So who will be next? So that was Libra. Let's go now with Gemini. Ooh, Gemini, you're going to get some love communication, but it could be a Virgo kind of the energy as well. Again, you have this 8 energy here, but it looks like they're going to kind of go, okay, I just need some self time, which is like I see it for Libra. Kind of like it does make sense, because when I see sevens are very spiritual. For spirituality, yeah, I don't consider church spiritual at all. Quite the opposite, in fact, and don't even get me going on all of these Catholic stuff. It kind of makes my blood boil. But this is like more or less looking your own kind of like thing, looking what really works for you, finding your mojo. And for that, it takes time to kind of like rest. It takes time to be on your own. It takes time to meditate. Hermit is like definitely kind of like obtaining wise counsel, but like, I mean, you kind of have those answers inside. Somebody might be trying to come back to you, or there will be messages. It could be some kind of like communication. These are sometimes called arrows of love as well. And I'm going to say not so fast. I have to choose wisely. Is this really the best in my interest? And it's going to take some time to contemplate about that. So let me just see that. Gemini, you had a pretty heavy reading. Gemini. Synthesis. That's kind of like what you need to complicate, not compliment, contemplate. You need to contemplate about how is this falling in the bigger picture in this universe. Just try to see if instead of you in your place, there was like, let's say, somebody who is really dear to you, your mother, your best friend. Would you tell this person to continue this? Because look at that rainbow over here, and this is really big. The Hermit is a very important card in tarot, even though many people are neglecting it. Hermit can be Virgo, but it also can be Aquarius, and it kind of like has this like soul searching quality, self-awareness, that is kind of like very important. And given that we are doing this for Gemini, I really like in American government there are lots of Gemini, so this is going to be interesting. This also means it's not going to be, it's kind of weird, it's going to be either very lots of talking or nothing at all. So it's going to be hot and cold, kind of like going on over there. And let's see Aquarians. Oh my god, so how many cards am I going to get here? I got again this burden card, but I got a whole bunch of like reverse cards over here. So the Fool reversed, Nine of Wands, Six of Cups, Judgment reversed, and the High Priestess. So Aquarians are going to really have to do some heavy pushing over here. Aquarians, I mean, this is kind of interesting. This also looks like 11, but this is a karma card over here. So in order to move forward, you see, Aquarians are almost like kind of like going in a new direction. So they're maybe one step ahead, but there are like still certain things that need to be wrapped up, and definitely things from the past. And definitely, I honestly, and being Aquarian myself, so don't kind of like jump on me, feels like that we need to look in our own actions. Right now, it doesn't matter what has been done to us, what it does look like somebody really took us for granted over here. But right now, I'm telling you, this doesn't really matter. It's kind of like the thing that is still holding us to shift into kind of like, hey, new spirit, new ambition. And there is like some kind of like experience that we are still failing to learn, or we keep still doing our wrong things. You know, sometimes you convince yourself that something is the truth because it's kind of easier for you to digest. So this is really calling for, and again, from Aquarian to Aquarian, for a very clinical dissemination. Okay, have I been bad? And I don't mean like in a Christian sense. It's kind of like, I mean, just try to see if you can improve from Aquarius 1.0 to Aquarius 2.0. Can I be better? Kind of like, maybe that's a better question. Can I be better? Because it looks like it was lots of back and forth. And try to, guys, mess with Aquarian. We are probably the most peaceful. That's why we are like friendly sign. And Valentine's is like basically celebrated during our transition. But you mess with us, you get Omarosa. Yeah, she's Aquarius. Alex Jones is Aquarius. But all these presidents, Lincoln's are presidents, Aquarians. So you can see the forcefulness. It can go in any direction. So if it went, and this is a time of reckoning. This is like something that, you know, I have been wrong and now I get it. I have been blind, but now I can see, kind of a thing. And definitely talking about blindness, we can see that over here. So let's pull an angel card. Angel card for Aquas. I got 2. And vision and support. Okay, Aquarians. Let's talk. Vision and support. Support speaks to me really loudly because we are such a strong sign. We are such a strong sign that can't take sign of weakness. We're almost like cats. And, you know, like when a cat shows their weakness, they're actually dying. That's the very last stage when they're going to come to you. And maybe another exception would be like when they're like delivering babies, they might kind of like seek us out. So Aquarians are really known for not seeking help, for having the most mental diseases, probably because of that, because we kind of like don't understand. We would see that as a huge sign of weakness, as a huge sign, oh my gosh, I failed if I have to do that. And this is definitely saying, look, you need to get over it, and you need to kind of like ask for this hug. You need to ask for this support. And this is really needed because you are not made on this planet alone. Kind of like the vision is like really connecting to me to this card. And this is the card of trust and trusting unreservedly instead of being foolish. So, you know, we don't have to go to other people, from what I see here, for, you know, confession or for discussion, but definitely to get some kind of like emotional support. Like, I mean, these are all kind of like water things over here. And if you guys are in a really kind of like depressed frame of mind, but I kind of like don't see it too much over here, definitely ask for, you know, a specialist or something like that. This is like really a week to turn things around. It's going to be a really good week, and looks like Aquarians are taking all the skeletons out of the closet. It's very typical for Aquarians. Okay, I have to deal with my issues. Okay, let's deal with all 100 of them right now. It's kind of a thing, you know, certain things we cannot do alone, and this is like a time to ask for help, guys. So you're very welcome, Jeanette. It's my pleasure. I actually have to admit, I'm also benefiting from these readings, because I know some people say, hey, you're not on the point, just keep moving on, you have to just keep reading, you're just here for this reading. But to me, I'm doing these readings instead of sleeping, instead of like already puttering around, because I'm extrovert and I need to connect to you people. So I like to also chat, and I like to kind of like see what you guys say and what your opinions are, and if you have any kind of like themes, let me know as well. Okay, so next one is the water. Okay, so let's see, how do you like, guys, these cards? Do you like these cards? It's kind of like different, and I don't know why he didn't do all 78, because they're really much kind of like following tarot, but he didn't probably find that all cards are really neat. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Junkie. Oh, hi, Sally. Hi, nice to see you. So let's see. Water, 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 water. Yeah, my turquoise, you know, I actually bought a new phone yesterday. I loved the phone that I had, and I still love it, but it was getting painfully slow. I would press on something, especially on a photograph, and then you know, I don't know, I was in front of the mailman, I just wanted to take a picture of something, and I pressed on it, and I wait, and I wait, and I wait, and said, okay, that's really embarrassing. So it probably needs to be cleaned, and it's probably kind of like was the time to move forward. So cleaning the slate, it's erasing this hard drive, all of a sudden stuff will start working properly again. So that's kind of like work. So yes, guys, please click like. Very much appreciated. Your comments are also appreciated, even if you're listening to this while we are already offline. So remember, kind of join the next time. I have to mention this. Join the next time, because each time on the reading, I'm going to give 15 minutes reading away, and the next week is going to be Dean's pick. This week is Letty's pick. So each time it's going to be one of my moderator who will be just deciding who gets it. So participate, guys. Let's see, water. Oh my gosh, water, 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 water. And look at this. The first thing I've seen is 9 and a 2, and again it's 11. Spiritual strength and movement, choices and decisions. You know, you're feeling weak, water. I'm not going to kind of like BS you. Look at this lovely card. Do I want money? Do I want relationship? Do I want to grow? Am I spiritual enough? It's kind of like posing yourself lots of questions, but you probably are, you see the third eye being activated. Maybe you're going in the wrong direction. because you are feeling lonely. So here is this Hermit card over here, solitude. And instead of learning something, I think you're trying to energize yourself, because look, you have also prosperity begins, and that will be this lovely Ace of Pentacles, but it's reversed. And again, look at this 9 and 9, and there is like something that needs to end and something needs to finish. The choices need to be made. It looks like to be a very confusing period over here for you. So definitely this is the week where it's going to depend on how much you nurture yourself. You know, there is like a thin line between aloneness and loneliness. Alone is a time that we are selfish about, that we really want to spend this time alone, kind of like everybody leaves me alone. And when this turns into loneliness, it's kind of like the time is wasted. The time is spent kind of like spending, either thinking that we are not good enough, we are not worthy, because we are not feeding ourselves with things we should, because there are always things we can do. So get busy, guys, because this prosperity begins is around the corner. It looks like some seeds that you have planted did not grow. So join the rest of us. It happens. You know, pardon me for using this S word, but shit happens, right? And it is really time to say, okay, you know what? Now I have to clean it, and I'm going to move forward. I just want to clarify this prosperity begins for water. Water. Enemy to me is the card of exes, of people coming from the past, people whose motives are not, you see, we can see this another fellow walking. It's just kind of like one of those cartoonish things. There is like something from the past that is happening over here, and of course it kind of makes sense. We are still into this Mercury retrograde. I think it's stopping on the 21st, but we are going in the shadow. So something long term maybe cannot happen with a person that you were hoping for. Maybe you're still kind of like yearning for this person, maybe you're kind of like pinning for this person, but they're like clearly telling me over here, like, and this is you, that would be like that, feeling totally in sync with it, like really having this full circle. Maybe this means that you need to break that circle and kind of like go in a completely new direction. And you know, same old, it's kind of giving you the same old results. So the enemy card is the card of watch for the people around you. Trust no one actually this week, but that has one exception. You need to start trusting yourself, and I think that's where you're failing, because just because the seedling didn't kind of like come through, it doesn't mean the next one won't. But you can actually kind of try to adjust how do you kind of grow and nourish, and how you're kind of like planting things in the soil. So that's kind of in Hi Consenter, nice to see you. And you're late a little bit for Aquarius. Aquarius is having a big reading this week. Okay, water. Let's start with Scorpio. And Scorpio wants to talk. There you go. Scorpio. What's up, Scorpio? Oh my gosh, Sagittarian energy. It's kind of interesting because there is like a highly spiritual energy over here that I see. Look at this. Feeling kind of stuck in some kind of situation, feeling the past kind of like is like not working properly, the future, I don't know where I'm going. It's kind of like one of those things when you're like everything to everybody, and it just like in the end you just got overwhelmed. Lots of things going through your head, of course, but things are like really generally feeling like dead ends no matter where you go, and kind of like it is kind of in sync with everything else. This is definitely asking you, and check this out, this is now 22. Looks like you have a very powerful week transition. You're going into, again, this, how do I establish myself? What is really important? What are this aspects of my life that I need to care? When I coach people, I usually kind of like sometimes deal with kind of like those buckets, and I said, well, one bucket is for you know, love, one bucket is for family, one bucket is for work. Are these buckets full or they're not full? And let's deal with this, because temperance is like definitely talking about being kind of like attending to moderation. Again, you see the third eye is getting activated. The angel is kind of like realizing that, you know, sometimes even two opposite things can be merged. You need to reconcile certain things in you. Maybe you want something and you don't want something at the same time. Maybe you need to kind of like work with somebody on something in order to make it. But this is still telling me that something is the right time, something is the right place. So this is kind of like going to be important, because you'll be getting out of this confusion and possibly even putting your foot down, but in a very gentle way. And you're getting vision too, and it's a soul sight future. So it's going to be really spiritual week, I have to tell you, Scorpios. A week is going to be probably having a tint of lonely, tint of thinking a lot, thinking that you cannot do anything, but you are supposed to be here at that spot for a reason. There is like something that you need to see, because look, she's blindfolded and now we're getting vision. You need to remove the blindfold and see things as they are. Very, very, very important, right? So, oh my gosh, I was just trying to start with Cancer, and I got a Queen of Wands, so let it stay. And the Magician. I'm looking at this because I'm seeing this fire in the water, kind of like, I think this is telling me that the water probably started to be muddy. The water started to kind of like evaporate. Maybe somebody sucked the life out of you. So this is kind of Cancer, very similar to Scorpio. Guys, there is like a time to start being active and to say, look, if they can do it, I can do it. The Magician is not necessarily the most positive card, but it is the card that's saying, I'm going to get there. I'm going to make sure I get there. So this is the person, almost like think about this person as a computer. So whatever you put in, you get it out. If you want something good thing to happen, oh, sure, no problem. If you want something bad thing to happen, sure, no problem. But luckily, this is kind of like not a bad intention. You might be dealing with fire signs or with air signs. In particular this week, something might be very uplifting for you, because both of them have this kind of like feeling. And it's also, you're going to kind of like realize everything you need to do. I think you're really thinking about work, you're really thinking about moving forward, and very intensely you're thinking, how do I organize my life, how do I move this forward? And you guys might have a new person entering your life this particular week, and can take you like by surprise. It can take you, so just pay attention. Grocery aisles, you know, corner stores, McDonald's, literally is going to take just like that. To me, always the Magician, I also see it as a thunderbolt, right? Or something that you see, we see the roses, and we see also the roses and irises below. So everything is possible to kind of like happen, and you kind of like need to put, again, you need to kind of like turn around if you feel lonely, and kind of like put the effort in this. Very important. Magician is Mercury, so things will start turning like really well for you. So let me see, angel card for Cancer. Creativity. Yes, Magician is definitely creative, that's for sure. And I'm laughing because the creativity can go in all ways, in all kind of like ways, but creativity is going to be, and so is Queen of Wands. You guys are going to be very active. So it almost looks to me that you're going to have the least between these two signs problems into kind of like overcoming certain things. If the exes or some problems that you have in your relationship appear, you're going to be able to creatively resolve this. Okay, let's sit down, let's see what can work out. So this is like a spirit of cooperation that I absolutely see here for you. Very nourishing spirit, very kind of like, even for guys, motherly spirit. So it's going to be actually really good. And who is the very your manifestor is haywire? Well, this is a magic wand, guys, right? And so the same wand is like in that world card as well. So this is the beginning. So you're like putting seed in there. The Magician is the seed. You have everything that you need. So you don't have to look elsewhere. You don't have to, for example, you want to have a business and you think, I can't until I get the financing. No, you're actually telling you that what you're meant to do, you already have, and you can do it with whatever you have. That's kind of a thing. Same as for the relationships. Don't think you have to be prettier, you have to change your hair, you have to do this. Things can actually really, really happen completely without it. So I actually see very often 12-12. But I see now 12-11. So there is which one I didn't do it? I did Scorpio, I did Cancer, a Pisces, Hierophant. You guys having a marital troubles? If you guys had marital troubles, or you had somebody who maybe didn't want to commit to you, and maybe that's kind of like relates, it might be somebody completely new that is like reactivating you, or maybe it simply means that some of you might be actually really going through divorce. But the Hierophant has lots of different kind of like sides to it when it's reversed. It can simply mean that you are like going in a completely new direction. That maybe if you, especially if you're not married, that you're going in a non-traditional way, or maybe kind of like trying to see that certain relationship you have been involved with, because you do still have this kind of enemy as kind of like a major thing, is not the relationship which kind of like should maybe go this long term. To me, this is a marriage card, definitely. It's something that is constrained, but it can also talk about work, and it can talk about some kind of like situation at work not happening, not getting this promotion, not moving forward. But instead of like feeling depressed about it, this is so going to energize you. It almost like, guys, you're going to feel, you know how you have like these two fishes chasing each other's tail, going to say, you know what, one door is closing and I'm opening the new ones. You guys have really like this new seedling, like, so now they're like two seeds and this one is up. The Ace of Cups is like new direction, something that you like. It is actually the weakest of all the aces. This one is a really good one, unfortunately is reversed, but it's nonetheless, you are the water sign. Very, very important that, you know, like you feel fresh. It's like the first day at work, everything is so exciting, and then like 6 months later you hate everybody, you want to chop their head off. But just think about the first day. That's kind of like how it really feels over here. So actually I need to clarify this Ace of Cups here as well. Ace of Cups, and I think I had another one. Did you deal with somebody who kind of like wanting to have too much fun in a relationship? I have a pleasure seekers and soldier. To me, this is kind of like a third party, kind of like a play, or somebody who is just like not willing to kind of follow the rules of relationship or monogamy, and who is kind of like getting very guarded or insisting on that. Soldier can mean that you are kind of guarded and you're keeping your secrets, right? And soldiers need to defend kind of like their fort, as you can see it over here. It could be that, you know, you couldn't get through somebody's thick skull and to kind of like get them, look, this bothers me, hello, how many times do I have to say this? And because of that, you're kind of like moving in a new direction. Somebody is definitely being guarded over here, very, very guarded in this kind of like situation. So let me see the angel card for Pisces. Angel card for Pisces. Angel card for Pisces. Angel card for Pisces. Inspiration. And that's probably how it's summarized. Like the Ace of Cups probably should be called inspiration, because that's sometimes needed. That spark, that ability that not all is lost. That, like, I know it looks like you have been bogged down by, hey, why is this not working out, and feeling lonely. This really kind of like the mostly really reflects on you. So Pisces will be dealing with kind of like putting things to end and kind of like starting to move forward. You see, we have a 1 here, we have a 1 here. There is like this moving forward over here for both Cancer and Pisces. Scorpio, on the other hand, is coming from a huge dark to completely a new vision, and almost like everybody's turning a leaf but this week is still going to be tying up loose ends and kind of like resolving those different aspects for yourselves. So peace, just think about peace and cess. Peace, cess. That's how I learned that Pisces, Lati. So my dear friends, thank you so much. So Lati, did you make your decision, or would you like to make this decision, but it's going to be really hard to chase them later? So who is the person who is getting the free 15 minutes reading? So we are waiting for Lati. We are waiting for a decision. So let her have a few minutes. I'm going to put the music on that she chooses. Look at this. I took her by surprise. So let me put the music for a second. So before I forget, let's kind of draw that 15-minute reading. You guys will have to come to my website and fill out the form. And it takes time, but don't run away. Lati, you have to decide who is the winner. Where are you running away, guys? Don't you want to, like, you don't want it? You don't want to get it? Here, let's give a music until Lati decides who is the winner. Lati? She's probably looking at... I usually, when I do it, I just do it randomly. I just kind of like pick one from the hat. Hey, wait, everybody, wait. Well, let's wait. Who? So Lati, did you find out? Did she? No, she didn't. She didn't. Not yet. Hurry, yeah. Look at her, like, she's like going in a panic. Oh my gosh, she put me on the spot. Oh, you did say CC Bells. I'm sorry. So CC Bells, is CC Bells still here? Here, let me show you. This is the form. And I'm going to post this on Facebook. I'm going to post this on, I guess, Instagram. I'm not so great with Instagram. I'm just like, I'm trying to, like, do it. So CC Bells, if she's still here, CC Bells, I should put it here. CC Bells, contact me. Okay, I put it on the subject line, so hopefully it's going to come through it. So, okay, guys, so 15 minutes. You need to send me, like, that request. If she's not here, then we are going to try to kind of like tag her down. So if you can, Lati, write it somewhere down. If she doesn't contact me in the next week, we can say so. But I'm going to do the X readings, X series next week, so I'm going to mention this. So yeah, maybe she left. You see, that was like part of my bad organization that I don't tell people. So I don't want people just to come at the end or at the beginning, because I will do that randomly, kind of like that draw in the future. So Dean, be ready for everybody. So thank you guys, everybody, for being here with me, for enjoying the coffee. I still have some cold coffee. I love cold coffee. So hopefully we get a winner, and I'm going to try to affect it on the other kind of like mediums. But also remember that I'll be giving another 15 minutes free on my Facebook and on Instagram. So just go there, contact me, comment and be active, and that's it. Each time it's kind of like you're putting yourself in the draw. Thank you so much, guys. A special thanks to all my administrator. Thanks for contribution. It's always appreciated, always helps, and I wish everybody to have a wonderful week. It looks like most of us will kind of like try to kind of erase bad things from the past and deal with that and move forward. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to put music here so you can guys say goodbye to each other, and until the next time, love you. Thank you everybody guys for being here with me, and congratulations to CC Bells. Hopefully you'll contact me, and until the next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful week ahead. Love you.